field. This Bulls team battled, they fought, but just didn't have enough in the end against the reigning NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder tonight inside the United Center. But KG, we had moments where this Bulls team was in control of the ball game at certain points, obviously with the Thunder in terms of their depth, their system. Mark Dadnold as head coach, they just relied on certain guys like Chet Holmgren, who had some moments. Of course, Isaiah Joe, Alex Caruso, former Bull, and we talked about Jared McCain before we started the postgame show.
Hey, listen, when you win a championship, you automatically become 30% better. All right, and that's what you saw tonight, because you look at the three players that, including the reigning MVP and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the bench, they look like they didn't even miss a beat.
The
way that they played, they're a well-oiled machine. I thought that the Bulls did put forward a very good effort, but then once again, we get injuries to Josh Giddey. Now Modest sprains his ankle, it looks like, as well. So that didn't bode well for the end of the game. When those two went out, we could virtually hand the game to them.
And still had an opportunity with about 30 seconds left, down 6. Unfortunately, the shot didn't go their way on Leonard Miller's 3, but there were still opportunities again for this team to try and make it an even tighter ball game. But you talk about Josh Giddey, flirted with a triple-double tonight, 14, 9, and 9 once again. I mean, we saw him Sunday with his 15th triple-double as a Chicago Bull, 8th of the season. But we were mentioning this with our must-see matchup with Giddey and Caruso. At 6'8", Giddey just gets it done getting downhill, KG.
Yeah, you just saw him on the previous play right there, getting downhill, getting into the slot, and just going right through guys. And at 6'8" at the point guard position, it's very hard to stop a guy that size from getting into the lane. But also, too, going back to how the Bulls lost this game, they lost because OKC is just a better team. Just more experience. But also, they helped them. 19 turnovers for 25 points conceded tonight by this Bulls team. Once again, the turnovers being the second biggest Achilles heel for the Bulls this season. The first being injuries.
Yes. Let me correct myself. 14, 10, and 9. For Josh Giddey, so just one assist shy of that triple-double. But let's get into a guy that really powered this Bulls team in the first half, KG. Saw some of that in the second half as well. Bertrand Yabusele, and this is our Toyota player of the game, because we got to give the Dancing Bears some love. My man came out firing, KG. Took 11 shots in the first half, the most that he's ever taken in an NBA half in his entire career.
That's right. I wanted him to put another 11 together for the second half as well, but came out aggressive. And, his jump shot is underrated. You really have to respect him when he steps out there beyond that arc. He's looking at a guy like that. He doesn't pass the eye test of a guy that shoots three-point shots. But you can see right here where Billy drew up a play for him to come off of the pick and pop with Josh Giddey, and they're looking for him off of that pick and pop now.
Third double-double for Yabu in his 11 games as a Chicago Bull, 18 and 12. But for a guy that's undersized at that power forward, maybe center position because of just necessity for this Bulls team, he finds a way to make his rounds around the rim and also getting those rebounds and knocking down threes as well.
Much like Charles Barkley used to do at 6'6", a 6'6" power forward. Yabusele finds spots on the floor to shoot the basketball and love the drive and dunk that he had in the first half. If he's going to score in this league, that's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to mix and match his offense.
No doubt about that. So love to Yabusele there again, his third double-double as a Chicago Bull. And I'm just thinking in my head, KG, have you ever put up 11 field goal attempts in one half in your career in your 15 years?
Oh, yeah. That was a gun, man. Come on. I like to shoot the ball.
KG said I'm getting them up, especially if I'm making them. No end pass the ball.
Definitely.
All right, now, speaking of somebody that is aggressive with their offense, Colin Sexton, another 20-point effort for him tonight. We saw 22 on Sunday against the Milwaukee Bucks, 24 young Bull. And just when you have someone that as soon as he hits the floor, he's going right at you. He's going to make sure he gets a shot.
Here's the secret to being a scorer. Here's the secret to averaging 20 points a game. Just be aggressive. Just be aggressive, and the shots and the opportunities are going to score. Don't be passive out there. And that's the one thing Colin Sexton is not. He is an aggressive offensive player, aggressive on the defensive end as well. That's why he's now with 2 consecutive 20-plus point games.
And also got to the free throw line as well. 6 free throw attempts for Colin. So you saw the montage that we have of the highlights of young Bull from 3, getting inside the lane. And I think that's the best aspect of his game, with the strength that he has of getting defenders on his hip, kind of like baiting them a little bit and getting that floater up to get it to go.
When Jimmy Butler was first couple of years was with Chicago, he figured out, he started off as a defensive player, but he figured out I can score 20-plus points per game if I go to the free throw line 8 to 9 times a game. Yeah. He lived at the line because he put pressure on the defensive end. And you were either going to let him have the layup or you were going to foul him. That's the same thing you see Colin Sexton doing. He's trying to either get an open three-point shot, get downhill for a layup, or for you to foul him. It's great how he does it, because now he doesn't have to score as many buckets when he goes to the free throw line.
All right, young hoopers out there, KG giving you free game in terms of how to get 20 points, man. It's all right there.
Call them free throws for a reason.
There you go. Got to knock them down, man. Right. Make sure you hit them when you're tired, especially there. All right, let's take our first break here on Toyota Bulls Postgame Live. When we come back, we'll hear from Bulls head coach Billy Donovan, which is rocking Joakim's old number 13 jersey as well. Welcome back to Toyota Bulls Postgame Live. I'm Cam Smith with my man Kendall Gill. And KG, you have these moments with this Bulls team where you see plays like that defensively, where you can see them start to develop a little more communication, a little more chemistry on the defensive end, resulting in 2 points off turnovers.
Yeah, listen, all of that comes with when you're familiar with the guys, okay? They haven't been familiar with these guys yet, and they just had a contact practice the other day, their first one. So now you get used to the guys, and now you learn how to plug those gaps, which you just saw Nick do on that possession right there. And that's when you start to get some sort of rhythm, some sort of chemistry. Hopefully they can continue to get some more practices together, though.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, let's send it downstairs to hear from Bulls head coach Billy Donovan with our Xfinity game report.
So Matas obviously didn't play in that fourth quarter. What kind of word did you get post-game?
He's got an ankle sprain. They didn't feel, at least at this point, I always think you find out a lot more the next day on these things, but sprain. What I got was, maybe day to day, see how he responds tomorrow morning.
Got it. And then
both he and Josh.
Okay. Josh came back in though.
He did, but I think that they always, like I said, the adrenaline, competing, playing, all of a sudden overnight they always worry about swelling and what happens. So I think tomorrow we'll have a much better feel on both of them.
Got it. As far as the game, you guys kind of made it interesting at the end, and then Caruso had that miss. Looked like you were trying to tell Sexton something on that next possession. What were you trying to say?
Yeah, I think that, I thought that on a missed shot, 6-point game, could we generate something faster? And what I was saying to him is you got to go quicker. I thought we held on to it and allowed them to kind of get matched. And at that point in time, if I'm calling timeout, I'm letting them set their defense. And then, whether they have a foul to give or not, I was trying to get him just to go. Now we generated a corner three, but I thought we took a little bit too much time off the clock. We needed to try to go a little bit earlier. And, these are some of the things we're going to have to go through with some of the new group, when they're in kind of these situations.
There was a lineup, I think it was the second or third quarter, where it was like Trey, Sexton was out there, Giddey was out there, maybe even Rob too. How are you thinking about, and Sexton was running kind of a lot of pick and roll. How are you kind of thinking about managing who is sort of initiating offense in those lineups when you have so many different guard options?
Yeah, I think one, is the matchups, obviously, who's on who. The other part of it, too, is maybe who's got it going, who's got kind of a hot hand a little bit. I thought in the third quarter we got really stagnant offensively. There was too much holding the ball, and I think we were trying to beat them off the dribble one-on-one, and that's just not us. So, some of it is to try to generate some quick penetration to get the ball sprayed out and have that generate some ball movement. But you're just kind of going off a feel, who maybe needs a touch, who needs to get a little bit more involved, who's got it going, where are the matchups, how are they matching with us? And you just try to look at those things. And they played small, at parts, so we were able to at times play almost 4 guards out there, gives us a little bit more ball handling and playmaking and creativity off the dribble.
I know you guys obviously were thinking when first, but with Josh coming off an injury and then going out kind of as dramatically as he did,
I'm sorry?
With him going out, just were you surprised that medical kind of threw him back in there at the end in the fourth quarter? It just seems that you guys would be in a place to be maybe kind of protective of him.
No, I think when it comes to his ankles, Josh has had to deal with that before in the past, and he's got a really good feel. I talked to him, and he said, "No, I want to go. I feel like I don't feel it's as bad." So, they're gonna play a part in that. I took him